Good evening. A Scottish pensioner has appeared in the FBI's most wanted list. Glasgow-born James Ward has been on the run for 6 years after being charged for his alleged involvement in a fraud scheme in Florida. Laura Maxwell has more.
This is James Alexander Ward, born in Glasgow, now wanted by the FBI for what it describes as a white-collar crime, wire fraud. The 65-year-old is alleged to have been involved in a scheme operating in Florida for 3 years from 2007. It's claimed Mr. Ward received $400,000 from at least 12 investors to buy precious metals, but instead spent the money on himself. The FBI lists Mr. Ward's occupation as a securities broker. It describes him as blonde, but says he may change his hair colour frequently. The wanted poster says he may travel within the UK, Canada and Mexico. Anyone with information is being asked to contact their nearest American embassy. Laura Maxwell, reporting Scotland.
The death of a 15-year-old Aberdeenshire boy who fell ill is being treated as unexplained by police, though they say it's not thought to be suspicious. Emergency services were sent to a property in the Fordun in the early hours of this morning. The boy was taken to hospital in Aberdeen, where he died. Police officers have said it may take them several days to carry out an investigation near Huntly in Aberdeenshire. They've been searching farm buildings since yesterday. Police said it was part of a proactive inquiry in connection with drugs and stolen property. Efforts are underway in the Western Isles to try and control the spread of an invasive plant. The Gunnera plant has already spread across large swathes of Ireland, but community leaders in Harris are taking action. Ian McInnes has more.
This large rhubarb-like plant has been imported over decades to add to the beauty of the Isle of Harris. But the scale of the problem it's created is clear.
It started 8 years ago and it's just got progressively worse and worse, and it's just uncontrollable. I've tried everything to try and get rid of it.
From island gardens like Brian's to the crofts and the countryside, it's a plant which spreads with ease.
These seeds can either spread through the watercourse, like they might drop in the burn here and work their way down towards the sea, or birds find them palatable as well. The kinds of issues that we might anticipate if we don't do anything would be, loss of grazing, loss of biodiversity for the wildlife that we find here in Harris.
And with that in mind, those looking after the land are working with SNH to eradicate both the plant and its spores.
We've tried using various techniques, from manually using teams of volunteers, from cutting it down with groups of contractors and using herbicides. We think we're here early enough in its establishment that we can still get on top of it.
There's now a European ban in place on the sale of Gunnera plants in garden centres and the like. But for those who have the plant in their garden, they're being advised to seek some help and to act responsibly to avoid the spread of Gunnera across the countryside. Ian McInnes, reporting Scotland in North Harris.
Football now, and Rangers defeated Kilmarnock 3-1 at Rugby Park to make it through to the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Alfredo Morelos scored a hat-trick. Now, Rangers will play Ayr in the quarter-finals, while Hearts face Motherwell. Hibs beat Ross County today and will meet Aberdeen. St Johnstone hosts Celtic. The lid has been lifted on a nuclear bunker in Moray, which has been opened for the first time to the public. The monitoring post in Murray's Cabrach area formed part of a network of UK stations at the height of the Cold War. Jackie O'Brien reports.
The Moray community of Cabrach is put on a temporary war footing as old comrades return to a bunker established to warn local people of a possible nuclear attack.
The idea was to have somewhere to monitor a nuclear explosion and give the public a warning. So our job was to go and monitor a nuclear burst, and with several instruments, which we have a few here today to show you. The Cold War was a Cold War, and we were expecting a nuclear attack at any given time. That's something that people forget today.
Now, for the first time, the public is getting a chance to go underground to find out how the high-security installation helped keep the country safe.
Once the warning was going, then it was action stations. They'd be receiving lots of data from their instruments, which they would report back to the regional headquarters.
It's hoped this place that time forgot will help put the spotlight on Murray's more recent past.
I think it's very important to catch this bit of history that is slowly fading out, actually. It's important to
to highlight that there are people in the public still that served in these corps in history and can tell us about what it was like manning this post.
Jackie O'Brien reporting Scotland, coming out of the Cabrach bunker in Murray.
The winners of this year's World Pipe Band Championships are the Field Marshal Montgomery Pipe Band from Northern Ireland. The Inveraray District Pipe Band were runners-up. More than 30,000 people attended the event, which finished yesterday on Glasgow Green. Now, Judith is here with your weather. Hello, Judith.
Hello, and a very good evening to you. Some unusual cloud formations there taken above the Paps of Jura. Now, as far as the working week's concerned, like today, things quieten down. It'll start off on a quiet note. Some late sunshine across western Scotland and the far north. Thicker cloud in the east, producing a few spots of rain here, but that should gradually clear. As we head through the overnight period, it's dry, it's settled. Although we'll start to see this weather front approaching into the far south, bringing some outbreaks of rain by tomorrow morning, and cloud tending to increase across the far north, maybe the odd shower for the northern Isles. Winds will be light, lows typically of around about 10 Celsius, maybe a few degrees lower in some parts of the Highlands. So into tomorrow morning, it's a largely dry start. It will be bright, but we'll see cloud building across the south with some outbreaks of rain just flirting with the border area, and cloud tending to increase in the north as well with the odd passing shower for the north. Now, still some brightness coming through though. The best of the sunshine through the central lowlands, the central swathe of the country in towards Tayside. Northern Ireland will also see some bits and pieces of rain similarly for the north of England, but south of here it's a fairly cloudy affair, but it will be quite humid if not warm, 25 Celsius in the south. Up here in Scotland, looking at around 18 to 20 degrees and winds staying on the light side. So largely dry afternoon as we head towards evening time. Any showers in the north die away, the rain clears from the south. Some late sunshine actually, and then the next weather front approaches for Tuesday eventually. You can see it out there in the Atlantic, but it does start off dry before we see rain moving into the northwest, gradually sinking south. That's your forecast.
Thanks very much, Judith. And that's all from us for now. We'll be back with the late news at 10:20. Until then, enjoy your Sunday night. Bye for now.